nevertheless, we might as well go into the favorites, who's going to be winning this. And as always, we'll start, well, as always, we've not actually done Tour Down Under as a preview together. So we'll start with Jayco AlUla, the home, well, semi-home favorite team, because now they're also kind of Saudi backed, but big history with this race, won it in the past. But yeah, how do you see that home Australian team faring here? And who's their leader?
Well, they say that they have a dual-pronged GC approach with Luke Platt, and one of my favourite riders, Mauro Schmid, is also going to be heading up this team, which is an interesting combination. There's no Michael Matthews here. There's no Caleb Ewan here, although that might be because there is some media turmoil going on, but that's probably a whole different story for a whole different day. It's fully GC focused, this team. I'm not sure how it'll go. Plapp is a strange one. I saw that the other day. He has never won outside of Australia. Obviously, that's fine because this race is in Australia, so that statistic doesn't really kind of hold much water here. Like, he has won this race, but it was in the COVID edition where it was more of a glorified sportive, like multi-day.
I'm not counting that one. That one.
It didn't really count. I don't know about Plapp. I'm not sure. I think he would prefer to have a time trial in here. I think it'll just be quite hard to break the competition.
Don't fall into the Plapp trap.
Of the Plapp trap. Oh, God. No, don't want to do that. I'd actually favour Mauro Schmid. And maybe that's just my bias coming in, but I think Schmid's got a faster turn of pace and could compete for bonus seconds. And this is a race which has come down to bonus seconds in the past, so they've got a dual-pronged approach. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, what happened to Luke Platt? Because he didn't start stage 4 last year.
He had like a bad crash last year.
Well, it would be good to see him actually have a good, crash-free race. And yeah, the Caleb Ewan story, yeah, we won't go into it, but it is a strange one. We might as well shift our focus over to someone who has actually won the race. And he did that last time he was here, and that was Jane Vine. Super nice guy in real life. And yeah, also another friend of the channel, Julius Johansson, is also going, their new rookie for the team. Yeah, UAE Team Emirates, Patrick. I mean, it's another, I mean, they always feel a strong team, but this one is quite strong. And I don't believe they've actually won Tour Down Under, if I can recall. Oh, wait, they have. J-Vine.
J-Vine won it a couple of years ago, what was it? 2023?
Yeah, he missed it last year, and then, yeah.
Yeah. But, he's been looking pretty decent. He just finished second in the Australian TT Champs, just behind Luke Platt. But they were only separated by 8 seconds, so they're obviously both in good form. They've also got Narvaez, recent signing. He finished second in this race last year. He was third up Wollonga Hill last year, so it's quite surprising, actually. I read UAE Team Emirates XRG, their press release earlier. They say that Vine is the leader for the team. I find that quite surprising. I'd probably still think that Narvaez could be a competitor to win this. So a little bit confusing. I thought that they'd have a dual leadership, but obviously they seem pretty confident in Jay Vine. I think that he's a big favourite to be competing for a podium, if not going for a win here.
Avid viewers of the Tour of Austria, which there aren't many because they decided to put it on during the Tour de France. But Narvaez cleaned up that race, I think 2 years ago. I think he won like 3 out of the 5 stages. Very punchy riders, we've said in the past. And I think this is a perfect Narvaez race. So, yeah, maybe they're just smokes and mirrors. Like, Jane Vine doesn't seem like he could win Tour Down Under. That's no disrespect. When I think Jay Vine, I think big mountains. I don't think Wollonga Hill.
Yeah, I think he could win Wollonga Hill, but I think that it's going to be a race which is going to come down, like I said, to bonus seconds. There's enough stages which are not a hilltop finish and will require some level of sprinting to get those minor seconds. And I just think that Narvaez has got a greater ability to do that than Jay Vine. And I think that, yeah, Jay will just struggle to get those bonus seconds. Like, he might win Wollonga Hill, but that might not be enough, as Oscar Onley very well proved last year.
And Rishi Port proved year on year. He did win it twice, I think.
Yeah.
You spoke about Oscar Onley. We might as well touch on that. Friend of the channel, Tobias Lund Andreessen is also going there, so excited to see what he can do in the sprints. But Oscar Onley, man, you and Ewan have backed very heavily with good reason as well. Absolutely superb victory last year. And do you think he can build on that? I think, didn't he have some injury last year?
Yeah, I think he did. I can't remember whereabouts it was in the season, but yeah, I think he did. But this is a guy who finished second at the Tour of Huangxi, which, on the main GC day, he was only beaten just about by Leonard van Eetvelt. He's really a great puncher and fourth last year in GC, but like we said, he won that Wollonga Hill day. He actually lost 2 positions in GC, like he dropped off the podium on that last day up to Mount Lofty. So he would have been on the podium, and maybe that would put him in a bit more prestige, but he is certainly a guy who's going to be fighting for the podium here. And I think they've got a really strong team. He's backed up by some really strong riders, Chris Hamilton, also Bjorn Court, who's local to me. Well, I'll say local to me. He's local to Leeds. Yeah, but I'm not actually in Leeds at the moment, but, I'm still claiming it. He's been slogging it around the lanes of Yorkshire, and obviously Yorkshire roads aren't like Australian roads, and the weather's not like it at all either. So, but the point remains is that he's good. I think Oscar Onley's got a great chance of being on the podium here. I think for sure. Like it would surprise me if he wasn't actually.
I haven't seen many kangaroos in Yorkshire.
No, neither have I, to be honest.
We're still kind of focusing on the favourites here. I desperately want to talk about Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe with Sam Welsford, who absolutely cleaned up last year in the Tour Down Under and is Olympic champion after the team pursuit, but we're not touching on that right now. I mean, are you thinking Team Visma Leasebike could be fighting for the win? There is a Dylan Manbal in there. There's a Thomas Gloag. Is that a favourites team, or is that more in the outsiders category?
That's more in the outsiders category. I think Thomas Gloag has got a good opportunity there. Last year, he had some injury which really wiped him out for the first half of the year, but then he won a stage of the Czech Tour ahead of like Ulissi and Hershey and some other big names. And then he had a decent Deutschland Tour. I remember him being very like a big animator of that race as well. And I think that Gloag, like, it's easy to forget that, remember like Volta Comunitat Valenciana in 2023, he was like really, really like punching above his weight there. And I think that people might have forgotten how good Thomas Gloag actually is. So I think that he's a name that you have to be keeping tabs on in this race.
Done something really disrespectful. Haven't talked about the defending champion yet. Patrick, his year, well, the start of the year was absolutely phenomenal for Stephen Williams. Flesh alone, this race and in Vuelta a Catalonia, he seemed to be the only one who could stay on Pogacar's wheel on the final stage in Barcelona. But Stephen Williams, another year, do you think he's going to just take it again?
I think he could do, They seem to be talking quite a big game. Like, they're putting a lot of emphasis on this race, Israel Premier Tech, to look like they want to try and defend this title. Stephen Williams is the obvious candidate for that, and backed up by some super great climbers in the shape of George Bennett, Nick Schultz, and Mike Woods. Simon Clark is just he's so experienced, he's worth his weight in gold. Corbin Strong for likely to kind of deny bonus seconds to some faster riders like Narvaez or Mauro Schmid will be super useful in there as well. It's a really focused team, and I think they've got sights to try and repeat what they did last year for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Stephen Williams. I completely forgot about your Tour of Britain victory as well. Heroic victory in Redcar, big up Redcar, Lemon Top and all that. But only people from Redcar and Teesside will understand that. I think, 28 years old. He's really in his prime now. These are like the golden years of his career. So I think he might just take another level, and Israel Premier Tech will have a huge confidence from what happened last year. The World Tour is within their grasp as well for next year. So is he the favorite out of all the guys we've looked at?
I'd say so, yes, but marginally. I think that, how people on Twitter love to do like the 5-star, 4-star, 3-star ratings? Like, you know the ones I'm talking about. Everybody in the comment section knows exactly what I'm talking about. Stevie Williams is likely that person in that top bit, followed by like a Onley and Vine and like maybe Narvaez, and you might put Plapp or Schmid in there or something like that. I think that's where I kind of see it at the moment. But you said you wanted to talk about Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe earlier.